You know this already.
I'd like to call the Tuesday, December 21st meeting to order. It is 9 a.m. on the nose. And Member Kosher, if you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Public comment. I do not have any public comment cards, anything via social media.
yet.
Anybody from the public that has not written a card down or that would like to speak? Great. Clerk Treasurer Parthune, claims approval.
Okay, we have payroll for December 10th in the amount of $402,695.61.
I move we approve the payroll.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
We have the civil city claims in the amount of $756,168.74.
I move we approve the civil city claims.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
We have sewage claims in the amount of $172,771.61.
I move we approve the sewage claims.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Finally, we have water claims in the amount of $159,214.09.
I move we approve the water claims.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
And then I'm just asking the Board of Works for permission to continue paying invoices through the end of the year. They'll show up on the January docket, but if we can use them from the 2021 appropriations, if they're still available, we would like to do that. So I'm seeking approval from the Board of Works for that.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? This is normal procedure
Yeah.
each year. All those in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
And then finally, I have, you have in front of you a contract with Baker Tilly for an internal controls contract. I'm seeking permission to move forward in 2022, updating our internal controls policies. I attached to the email that I sent, our current internal control standards are from 2016. I just wanted to make sure that we continue citywide to keep that process moving forward.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion, and Clerk Treasurer, thank you for doing this. That's important as we continue to improve our processes.
They'll be
So is this-
looking, sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead.
They'll be looking at each department's internal
They will,
controls?
yes.
And the
it is
overall.
it is still our, I don't want to say dream, our hope that we are mostly cashless. I mean, there are instances where cash will still be a necessity, but we're trying to move in that direction. So this will help us also
Yeah.
on that path.
But, and that being said, misappropriation can happen in so many other ways. So there's already written documentation on the internal controls. so
Yeah, we
they'll
already
go
have,
through-
have an ordinance, so
Okay.
we'll probably be updating some of those things. But yes, it's gonna go department by department.
Great, I love it.
So I was just gonna ask, like, so is the reason behind why we couldn't do this ourselves, just to have that third-party kind of view on this to
Yeah,
ensure that
yeah.
we're not?
Things are ever changing with cybersecurity, with ACH payments, with everything. It's just nice to have another eye on it.
Transportation.
I think it's also sometimes difficult because we do this for other companies, my firm does. I think it's hard to see outside of what you already do. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be taking a much greater look from above, down, top down. And so I think it'll be very beneficial for you. And also, it's very time consuming.
And again, I think it's important, Baker Tilly does it for quite a few municipalities, counties, and it's important that we're constantly updated, become as lean as possible, and we're not cashless as well at transport as I say that, and what opportunities are there to, improve a person's process, make it easier on him, and carrying cash is not a way to do that. So, we do have a motion and a second. Discussion? Further? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. So department head reports, this is the last meeting, we have vacations, different things, so please keep your thoughts and words to the point and to the minimum. So Nick Minnick, engineering and your team?
No report today.
Jerry Jackson,
quick and easy.
wastewater?
Just reporting NIPSCO's hooking up gas to our generator at Lane Street, and that's like the last thing to do on our Lakeside project, finally finishing that thing up, so that's happening today.
And how is just Monroe Manor?
Monroe Manor is very quiet over there. I got a couple pay requests for the board today, and other than that, things will crank back up in spring.
He's still polling better than you in Monroe
I was
Manor,
gonna
I
say,
think.
I can't imagine the gifts he gets from residents at wastewater, it's like Christmas. Craig Phillips, planning?
Just settling in and getting acclimated to the position so I can get started on all the big jobs that you have in store for us, so.
Mark Schreiber, Parks, anything you want to add for brief, direct statements? Stocking stuffers that are still available?
There are stocking stuffers still available. Just want to remind everybody again, I think everybody knows the NIBC, the Porte Invitational coming up January 6th through 8th at the Civic Auditorium. Plenty of good seats available. It's going to sell out. It's going to be a great event. We're pretty excited about it. 22 of the top 100 seniors from across the country are going to be participating. The latest ranking shows 7 out of the 8 teams that are playing are now ranked in the top 20. So this is top-level basketball. I think people are going to love it. So get your tickets, just $20 per session. I think we still have some VIP opportunities available as well. And you can get those tickets online or at the Civic Auditorium or at the park office.
Beth West, Transport?
Morning. I am happy to report when the mayor did his State of the City, we were at almost 30,000 riders. As of last night, when they ended the day, we're at 32,000. So we should probably be close to 32.5 by the time we're done with the year. Our generator that you guys approved last December is currently being installed finally. So we're very excited about that. That is being paid with CARES Act money, but that's going to keep our building operational if we lose power. Just wanted to remind the public that we will be closed Friday and Saturday this week, and we'll be running holiday hours on New Year's Eve, which is 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that you do still need to wear a mask when you're riding transport. The CDC has pushed that out now till the middle of March.
You guys will be open on New Year's Day?
Not New Year's Day, we're
Not New
closed
Year's
New
Day.
Year's Day. Just New Year's Eve from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So people can call New Year's Day for any rides or transportation?
Absolutely. I've got a 12-year-old who'd love to get behind the wheel.
There you go.
Thank you. And I'd like to say Beth has some things, we've talked, transport has lost $150,000 or more a year for many years. We're getting closer. Our goal is to break even there. And Beth is doing some great things, so we're excited to see how transport can improve their financial situation to make it for the long term. Healthcare Foundation, we've been talking with them and other ways that transport can be more available to residents. But as we talk about breaking even in $156,000, we still have roads, $30 million, sidewalks, $20 million. in no way does that help pay and keep fire and police in our community that we train and spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in training to watch them leave and go to other communities. We're doing our part to be responsible, accountable, but if we want to keep our police and fire and people want to feel safe, which every day our call load's going up, I'm getting calls, why aren't the police doing this? Why aren't the fire doing that? We have to make it competitive. And there's only about one way to do that, and we're looking forward to talking about public safety in January. But we'll see how many people support public safety when we talk about it coming in January. So we're excited to meet with the county council and have those discussions. So thank you, Beth. Mike Frey, Streets.
We started our second round of leaf pickup. We're on the east end. It's going pretty quick. We're going to be doing some more patching this week, and we're doing odds and ends like fixing sidewalks and stuff.
That's great. Jess Bruder, Communications.
Just wanted to note that we still have plenty of holiday merch available for people who didn't get it. We're only selling that to the end of the year, so if you haven't gotten it, I suggest you do it quickly. You can get that at liveinthelakelifeorg and click on Lake Shop. Additionally, in addition to the U.S. Marines NIBC Invitational, we do have tickets available for the Mega Beatles as well. That concert's going to be December 30th at the Civic Auditorium. And you can find tickets for both events at CivicTix, T-I-X, at Eventbrite, or excuse me, civictix.eventbrite.com.
Thank you. And Jess, we won't, that might be the day Purdue football plays in a bowl game. We won't have to worry about IU playing, but for those Purdue people, that might be a struggle. Jen Knoll, Human Resources.
Good morning. I just wanted to remind everyone that our HR assistant and paralegal retired officially on Friday, the 17th. So all HR-related inquiries can come directly to me. All of that contact information has been updated on the website, and we are getting Dana Gonder acclimated to her new position as HR assistant and payroll. Thank you.
And thank you to Jen and Courtney for making efficient as possible individuals that are on our team and can provide. We've got great skills amongst our team, and another example, working together to save taxpayer dollars as we continue to move forward. So thank you to both of you. Chief Breton.
I'd just like to say how honored I am to sit next to the batch. A little change here. We have a conditional offer to 3 officers that have signed. They're going through the medical right now, doing backgrounds on 3 more for our 5 that we're going to hire. We have 1 position held for May, so I don't know what we're going to do with the others. But the academies are pushed back. We had our own COVID scare. We have 1 being tested today. There's only an officer that's out right now. And the others thought they had it, but they all tested negative. So there's still a thing called the flu out there, I believe.
Jeff Batchelor, Code and Streets.
Yeah, we're just finishing up on we're at a little over 4,800 violations for the year. So that'd be what probably we end up at, a little over 4,800. And like Mike said, we're out finishing up the first round. We did 6,052 yards of leaves, picking them up. So they're really out there putting forth the effort on cleaning up out there, so.
Nick Otis, Legal.
Yep, I wanted to bring up Teresa Wooding from my office. Come on up, Teresa. So when Corrine retired this month, Teresa has been even though many of you may have not noticed it, she's definitely involved in a lot of emails back and forth. She's going to be a lot more involved now that Corrine's retired, so you'll probably see a lot of emails from Teresa, ordinance drafting, resolutions, that type of thing. Teresa lives in the city. Both her boys graduated from LaPorte High School, and so you've probably seen her around at different events, but I told her she can only speak for 10 minutes, so.
Teresa, welcome. We're excited to have you as a part of the team.
So we'll have to get some city merchandise for her here. So,
Absolutely.
But yeah, just you'll be dealing with her even more if you weren't already working with her. So
welcome.
Yep. Thanks, Teresa.
Teresa?
Okay, before we move on from department heads, you know, when we took office over just under 2 years ago, we heard a lot from our community, our residents, that there was nothing to do in LaPorte. Nothing to do in LaPorte. And so we have an amazing team of department heads, employees. Doesn't mean we're not going to continue to push next year, just have to throw that out there. But we have provided our community during one of the most difficult times with COVID, other things, events, options, and developing new festivals. And one of those has been Lake Fest. And I think Lake Fest was fabulous. It gave people not only from our community, but our county, region, and other states to come and enjoy what makes us special. And today, we wanted to, before the year ends, acknowledge a couple of individuals. Without their leadership, this would have never happened and would have never been to the level that it was, and that will lead us to more in the future next year. So with that, Member Kosher, Member Romine, if Mark Schreiber and Jess Bruder could come forward, we would like to acknowledge you an early Christmas gift, and thank you for making our community special and providing the first annual Lake Fest to hang as you move.
I just want to say that I got confused because it has my name and Mark's name on it as well. Oh my God. Share this moment with you.
So here, take a photo.
This is payback for yesterday, Jess.
Yeah, that's right.
Huh?
You recovered in the 183.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great job, guys. You really did a fantastic job. We look forward to next year's event.
Great job.
No pressure.
And as well, before department heads leave, if you missed the headline news from last night or weren't available, LEAP acknowledged their Partner of the Year, and Annette Leffler from City Hall was acknowledged with all her great doings and leadership and just her passion and commitment to making our community better every single day. So she was acknowledged, and can we just give her one more round of applause? And if I can tell you, we got her. We had her totally surprised. We asked Tucker King from the Water Department, who is also Annette's, I think, godson and nephew, tell her family that he was receiving an award from the Water Department, so her family all had to come here. And Annette was sitting here, and we just watched her go, oh my gosh, she really doesn't know. And then she realized it right before, and she was in the arena and couldn't get out. So, but thank you, Annette, and we're so fortunate to have you as a part of the team. Department heads, those of you that do not have business before us, go enjoy your day. That includes you, Mr. Schreiber. Thank you for coming in, and we will be through this meeting relatively soon. Of course, Jen Knoll had to put something on here to keep us here, so Jen Knoll, Human Resources.
So sorry. We just have 4 job descriptions that have updates to them. 2 of them moved to exempt statuses because of the salary threshold, and the duties met the white-collar exemption tests. That's the utilities assistant office manager as well as the office specialist. So I guess first I ask for your approval to update those job descriptions as written.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Anything that stands out, Jen, that we need to be aware of?
For those 2 positions?
Yeah.
No.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. I had to ask a question, Clerk Treasurer.
Next,
that they're exempt, that's it.
next, we've got the city events director as well as the civic firefighters administrative assistant positions. Those have been updated to include duties for citywide events. That has been communicated to the staff members that the job description, I guess, affects. So asking for your approval for those positions.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
I do have one thing that's not on the agenda that didn't make it, was a PTO rollover request. So we had a request from two management staff to be able to roll over some of their PTO time just because of the influx of events here at the end of the year, that they've not been able to take their scheduled PTO. Even though they have a decent amount of PTO left, I would recommend that they be allowed to roll over 5 days to be used within the first quarter of 2022. And that is for, do you need their names? Mark
Please.
Schreiber and Brett Benversi.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion, and I'd like to say I fully support that, especially with the work that Mark and Brett have been doing with all the different events. I would support that. Further discussion?
Very reasonable. Yeah, no problem with that at all.
But now he's coughing, so then I'm gonna,
Yeah.
he needs to go home. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Jerry Jackson, Monroe Manor.
We've got two pay requests. The first is in the amount of $297,541.80. That would, pay request number 3 brings us to 31% of the job, and I'd recommend approval.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
The next pay request is pay request number 4 on that project. It's in the amount of $365,089.37, and that brings us to 43% of the project. I'd recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
We're gonna try to make that this year's part of that job, and next year's kind of separate. Get all the pay all done, all the quantities done for this year, and then the as-built done for this year, and then kind of start fresh in the spring. I think that'll be a nice way to handle the project since it's split by the winter. So that brings us pay-wise up to snuff for the year.
Perfect. Next topic?
The next one I've got is an invoice for Pave drain. That's pavers that are permeable, so the stormwater goes right through it. If you go into Newport Landing, that first roundabout is made out of pave drain. It's green infrastructure, even though it's concrete. We bought the materials for 2 projects. It can be a long lead time, so if we have it, then now we're gonna bid construction of the 2 projects. It's the alley east of Michigan, that'd be behind Enzo's. There's a drainage problem in the middle of the alley, and then a storm drain that is directly on top of the sewer, so there's an odor problem. So we're gonna use the paved drain to fix that issue. And then the other problem is on Frontage Road at Sowers. There's a place where water has nowhere to go, and we're gonna use paved drain to infiltrate that and get rid of that drainage problem. So this is just materials, but it's over the threshold, so I need to come ask the Board of Works for approval. I'll have quotes from the work, from the contractors when I get them in.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Jerry, do we know when, because that's a much needed out by Sowers, do we know when that might happen?
It certainly could happen this winter because cut the asphalt and put in the block. So with decent weather, it could still happen this winter. But I'll immediately go on now that we have materials, I'll get the quotes coming for the work.
And is paved drain, is this a standard? We like that it's green. Is this something we would continue to use, or does it have a special application? Or, because I love the drainage in our roads and so forth, we hear a lot about that. Is this a specialty item for certain areas, or is this something we see moving forward?
There are other types of porous pavers and porous asphalt. This one I particularly like because it's very maintainable. You can use our vac truck to vac out the gaps between the blocks, and it will last a lot longer than, say, porous asphalt. And we've got very sandy soils, so infiltration works very good in the city of LaPorte. And we've got combined sewers, so this is a way to kind of separate sewers. That's what's going to go behind the alley without building large diameter, long storm sewer extensions. So yes, I anticipate you'll see this sort of project. They're still designing some of the letters and numbers, and some of this may go in on 12th Street in the letters and numbers project. So yeah, I anticipate we'll do quite a bit more of this.
So with this, where you cut the asphalt and then install this, it'll drain through this block?
Yes.
But then any issues with whatever, the underlayment beneath the asphalt? I mean, as far as drainage through the compacted, base and everything else, or is that also gonna, is the drainage equivalent through this product as it would be through anything below the pavement?
There are concerns with that. You don't want the water up underneath the asphalt, so you dig a trench and fill it with gravel to get the water to go down and to provide some storage capacity so that it's not up under the asphalt. So it filters the water before it goes down, so your infiltration keeps working, it doesn't plug. And commonly we'll put, like in the alley, we'll put an under drain so that if it fills up because we get rain after rain after rain, we'll still drain that down and we won't have water trapped under the asphalt. Well, there it's concrete. But that is a concern, and there's ways of dealing with it.
We have an example paved area block. I mean, you can see it out there, but we have one downstairs in engineering if you want to check it out after the meeting too.
How much do they weigh?
Oh,
it's a big
heavy.
piece.
It's heavy. It's kind of nice. It's essentially an alternative to a concrete roadway in a lot of ways. I think we've learned some things over the last couple times we've used these in different areas, and I think Jerry's got the right application here, where we're kind of using it in very specific areas. So it's great projects.
I like the idea, yeah, thanks.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, last time there's a recommendation on the phosphorus removal bids. The phosphorus removal project is to build a chemical facility out at the treatment plant to put either alum or ferric chloride into the effluent to remove phosphorus to meet our effluent limitation that's coming up. We only received one bid, that was from Thieneman Construction. And there's some reasons, well, a good reason for that in particular. There were a lot of bids due that day, in that week, last week. There were several contractors that expressed interest, and if we rebid it, I feel fairly confident we'll get additional bids. It's a fairly big project, million plus, so I think it would make sense to rebid it, make sure we have competitive bids coming in, something we can pick from. So my recommendation on this project would be to return this bid unopened so that the contractor doesn't have his number exposed, and then advertise and rebid.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion?
When will we ask for the next bids then to be due by, or what gives the contractors enough time? I know, because you said the contractors were all trying to bid a certain project, that deadline, so what's the next deadline for this?
We're ready to rebid, so the first bid would go out tomorrow if the board directs me to do that.
Okay.
And the bid comes in, what's the date? And Joe Peters and Austin Ridge are here from Nice. Is it this week? We set a date. It's January. It's the second meeting in January.
Was it 18th?
Yeah, it'd be the second. So we need to go through the advertising, the whole process again to advertise in order to rebid. January 18th, okay.
Further questions, concerns?
Well, thank you.
Before I take a vote, is,
Yeah, January, we'd receive bids on Tuesday, January 18th.
Thank you.
I do have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. And I would like to make note, last year was Mark Kosher and his hair length. This year is going to be Jerry Jackson and his beard. So we're going to see how far he can grow this.
I don't know, I think I'm beard impaired.
All right, Nick Minnick.
I do have 2 pay applications. I have hard copies if you need those. But
We got them.
first pay application is for the 2021 Round 2 street paving. This was with Reith Riley. This could close out our project, but if we close out our project now, we actually have to pay the state back about $500. I don't want to pay the state $500. So I'm going to work with Reith Riley. There are some areas adjacent to these projects that were originally slated for some additional sidewalks. I think we could actually do that now. I get a couple more sidewalk repairs under this contract, and then not have to pay anything back. So I am going to probably work with Reith Riley, so this will not be a final invoice, but the amount is $600,801.06. Sorry. And that does, I did take out the retainage just to try and get them paid out as much as possible at the end of the year.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So
So
moved.
moved.
And second?
Sorry, I don't think you have it. It's this one,
It's the second.
that one right there.
So with the Reith Riley, what area do you see you're going to be doing, what type of road work?
We're going to add some additional sidewalk work, probably along Woodward.
Woodward?
Yeah, there's a couple more gaps that we weren't able to finish as part of this project because we were thinking we were a little short on budget, but the way that all the numbers came out because of the change order items, we can't include those in our state contract, and we have just that little bit of capacity left to finish up a couple more sidewalks. So
Will they be able to do that before spring or not until the weather?
I'll see who they have available. A lot of times they lay off quite a bit of their laborers and foremen. They may be able to, weather permitting, get something done before spring hits, because if there's some nice weather, concrete can happen still.
Further discussion?
Just with this, with the timing, with this approval as it stands and the timing, we're okay for being able to do that, still be able to take advantage of that extra benefit? Okay.
Yeah, and if we cannot make it happen and we need to close out before the next round of community crossings opens, we can still do that. But I'd like to at least try to get a little more out of the contract.
All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
The next item is 18th Street Greenway. This is the first pay application for 18th Street Greenway. This is most of the paving, everything up until striping. Striping isn't on here, landscape isn't on here. The total amount for this request is $390,220.68. I think they've done a pretty nice job with that project other than the schedule, so I would recommend approval of this pay application.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. And if you haven't seen how many kids are walking on it, how many adults are taking advantage of it, from a health perspective, biking, running, walking, taking their dogs, just what a great project and something that's been needed for years. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. And Mr. Minnick, I meant no problems, just recognizing Jerry's versus yours.
Oh, no.
I
I
apologize.
completely understand. I did have one more thing. I don't know if I can just mention it here. NDOT's changed the way that, this is involving community crossings too, but NDOT's changed the way they have people sign contracts. So Board of Works members may be receiving an email from NDOT to sign our community crossings agreement. I have not seen the agreement. I don't get to see the agreement. They just send it to you guys. So when you receive that, if you want to forward it on so that we can review it and make sure everything looks good, that'd be great. I received like a jumbled XML file that makes no sense. So if you do receive that and can forward it on, that'd be wonderful. I know they're going to want us to sign that as soon as we can, so we'll probably have that on the next meeting if you receive it and want to.
If we give authority, can't
If
we
you-
add you to the email for the future?
Yes, yeah, and you can.
If you're comfortable with that?
I mean, you
Yeah,
you
that's
can
good.
give authority to have it reviewed and signed. It's a grant agreement that we already, already submitted everything as far as community crossings with mayor's signature and all that stuff. So, I mean, you can even grant the authority to sign it now, but like I said, we haven't reviewed it, so.
I would ask if you would work with NDOT and whatever you need to make sure they understand, we would like you
Yeah.
to have the authority to receive the email as well,
Yeah, okay.
if you're both comfortable with that.
It's odd.
Unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Clerk Treasurer Parthun, anything else? Other business, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. It's been a fantastic year. Buckle up for next year. We have more coming, but in the meantime, enjoy the holidays. Thank you to everybody that was able to help or participate financially with the Salvation Army. We raised just over $6,000 yesterday. We're still waiting on Michigan City's numbers to come back. But as well, thank you to Mayor Perry and his team for taking time out of their busy schedule to fundraise for those in need during the holidays. So with that, buy your basketball tickets. It's around the corner, and don't wait till it's too late. Anything else from our members?
No, sir.
It's been a great year. Thank you, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.